Alright, hello everyone, this is Space, and I've got a slightly different video today. So, I wanted to talk about something that I think is really cool. DC Compact Comics. The first wave came out last year. We got a lot of really cool additions. We're getting some cool additions this year. They're continuing next year. It's a great time to be a DC fan. Or for me, who has never really been super big into DC personally. I've always enjoyed, the movies and the cartoons and stuff like that, but I've only really read Batman comics until now. Yes, these DC Compact Comics have really explored, have broadened my horizon and everything, so I think that is one of the beautiful things about them. People that have never read many DC comics, a lot of the iconic runs and everything like that, we've now got our chance, and for only $10 too. Which is really great. That's such a great price. I mean, how many trades do you think you can get for $10? Probably not very many, unless if they're on sale or already used and stuff like that. But these are freaking brand new. You can take them wherever you want and have some fun with them. So, yes, DC Compact Comics. I think, honestly, probably one of the best things DC has done in a while. It's really such a great idea. Very excited for more. But today we're not talking about more. Well, we will be talking about more with Watchmen, Fallon, not more. But anyways, yeah, so I have had the pleasure of reading most of the DC Compact Comics from last year. There's only one that I have not read. Well, two, but one of them I'm pretty familiar with. The other one, I have no idea what the heck happens in it. That, of course, is American Vampire, Book 1. I am curious about it. It's this not Tom King. I'm still on that Rorschach grind set, I guess. No, but it is Scott Snyder and Stephen King, if you can believe it. They wrote a comic together, and that sounds really cool, but I've not read it at all, so I can't fairly rank it. But all these other ones, though, I feel pretty competent in ranking it. So what I'm going to be doing is this is my own sort of personal opinion and everything. Which compact comics I think are the most worth it, which ones I think are pretty good, and which ones I think, man, you gotta throw that in the garbage, alright? Just buy it and throw it in the garbage and waste $10, because that's the only way we can save humanity. By spending $10 on a comic you don't want. Anyways, so yeah, I figured this would be fun. My own sort of personal opinion, I'm going to run through all of these and everything. My opinion, of course, is not objective at all, yes, so keep that in mind. So, yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in. There's a lot of really cool compact comics. I thought all these were great. Some of these I had heard of before. There was a few that I was like, what is this? And I was really glad to have explored them and enjoyed them to their fullest potential. So yeah, once again, if you don't know much about compact comics, so basically it's, yeah, these sort of manga-sized editions. So they are smaller, but they are still very readable. The art still looks fantastic, still well printed and everything like that. And yeah, they're travel size and everything, and they collect usually full runs. Sometimes they sort of collect a story arc instead of a full run. Like, for instance, Batman, the Court of Owls saga collects all of the Court of Owls books. It does not collect whatever comes after Scott Snyder's run, which of course includes Death of the Family next, I believe. For Far Sector, that is the entire book. All-Star Superman, the entire book. Wonder Woman Earth 1, they managed to fit all 3 volumes in there. It's a big one, man. It's probably one of the biggest ones. If not the biggest one. It's got a lot of pages. Batman Hush is the full run as well. Joker is really small, so of course that's the full run. But with like Harley Quinn and the Gotham Sirens, it's only part of the run, but it's, you still get a general sort of idea of what's going on and everything, and you get the full story arc there. So yeah, it's sort of for, if you want to stop there, you can stop there, or you can read the rest of it sometimes too. Some of it is just all of the story, like obviously Watchmen is all of it, but some of it is like, oh, this is like a nice selection of the story and everything, and you get the full arc and everything, but there's more arcs to explore if you want to. So anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and start with the first one. I believe Watchmen was the very first one to come out. What a great way to start it. Of course, one of the most iconic comics of all time. But I gotta tell you guys something. It is not my favorite comic. If you can believe it. No, I just did a video on it, and I was like, I talked about it briefly in the video, so I was talking more about Rorschach, which, by the way, this one should also get a compact comic. Yes. Anyways, yeah, so it isn't even on my top 10, I'm being honest with you, but I still respect it a lot. I think it's a really iconic comic. Now, would I recommend this for somebody that's just getting into comics? No, definitely not. It's not, I see sometimes people like, oh, comics you start off with, and sometimes I see Watchmen, like, what are you talking about, man? That's like, if you don't know what Watchmen is, it's sort of like this like deconstruction of the superhero genre and everything like that. So how can you deconstruct something and understand that if you don't really know like what it's all about in the first hand? So definitely something I would recommend to like a more, you know, seasoned comic reader personally. But I mean, out of respect for the classic and iconic nature of it, obviously I have to put it at S tier. I think it is worthy of its high praise, and there is a list of 100 of the best literature out there. I don't know who did it. I'm not sure what company or whatever did it, or what publisher, but Watchmen is on there, not as a comic, but as literature. It's the only comic on there too as well, so that's pretty high praise, right? Let me get crazy right here. Batman the Court of Owls saga, I believe, in my personal humble opinion, is one of the best Batman comics. Not the single best, but one of them. I think it's this really cool sort of conspiratorial, sort of like this cult that is sort of, you know, is behind the scenes and really just running Gotham and everything like that for several like friggin' centuries, man, like a very long time. And Bruce Wayne sort of like in his early years like really is fascinated by this and is intrigued and sees sort of the dilemma of this sort of cult. And it's sort of like this like really cool like generational spanning just a story and everything. It has a lot of cool twists and turns, a lot of great characters involved too. Some truly amazing moments too. One of my favorite moments is early on in the book with a particular villain that may also appear on this little tier list here somewhere. I don't know, Superman maybe? I don't know. But yeah, I think it's a really cool one. I think it is definitely probably some of Scott Snyder's best work, and I think it is definitely like a really great way to start off his run as well with a freaking killer one. This collects, I believe, I think it's called Court of Owls and City of Owls. It was separated into 2 trade paperbacks, but all together, you know, I gotta put this. I'm really tempted to put it here, to put it past Watchmen. I think just solely based on my own personal liking, I'm gonna be honest, I would be more willing to reread Court of Owls right now as I'm doing this video than I would Watchmen. So yes, so basically, you know, personal opinion, I think I like it more, but I do think this is the better written one. So I'm gonna leave this right here. People are gonna get mad and kill me, but that's fine, you know. I won't have to pay taxes anymore. It's alright. Anyways, next up, we have Far Sector. This is one I had not heard of before at all, honestly. I had no idea. I was like, Far Sector? I remember seeing this in my comic store, and I was like, what is this? I don't know what that is, but it is really cool. It is also, I talk a lot in my videos about sort of the relevancy of comics and sort of how comics can talk to us about like sort of our current place in time, and I believe that this one is definitely an important one too. Especially with sort of, you know, more recent events back in 2020. It is very politically centered, but it also has this mystery too, and it has a lot of just really like fun and silly concepts, very sci-fi. I mean, it's Green Lantern. It has this society that functions on memes. I mean, come on, why wouldn't you want to read that? I think this is pretty cool. Here's the thing. We don't have very many Green Lantern compact comics. In fact, I can count on one hand, even if all of my fingers but one were cut off. It's one. And also the list that they've had, it's still one. We have some comics that do have Green Lantern involved in them, but where are the Green Lantern compact comics, man? I think this is a good one. I like it a lot. I can see why it was chosen, not only from a political standpoint and sort of its relevancy to our time, but also just from a pure, really good mystery standpoint too. I think it's very flavorful, it's got some nice art, and yeah, it's a cool one. And I also think too, it sort of has this connection to absolute Green Lantern. I don't know if they're looking this far into the future, but maybe that's also why they're like, oh, there's characters in there, so we're going to put that in there. Anyways though, I'm going to put this at A. My reasoning is, I think it's cool, and I like it, and I'm glad it has a compact comic, because it introduced a lot of people, including myself, to it. But here's the thing. Why aren't there any other Green Lantern compact comics? Like, why this one? I already outlined why this one specifically, but why not more? I mean, why not, like, you know, Green Lantern Earth 1 or something, right? I mean, that would be pretty cool. Or even some of that Jones run, you know what I'm saying? Or Johns, what am I saying? That guy that did Doomsday, you know who I'm talking about. He was your next door neighbor, I'm sure. Yeah, why not that, you know? I don't know. But yeah, I think Far Sector is a cool choice, and I can see why. I just kind of wish that there were, you know, either like there were more Green Lantern compact comics, or every compact comic was Green Lantern. I mean, both of those options are good too. Anyways, all of these are going to end up in S tier, huh? Not all of them, I promise you that, but probably most of them. Anyways, All-Star Superman, of course, is a classic Superman, a quintessential Superman story, if I may, as well. Of course, serving as an inspiration for James Gunn's upcoming Superman movie, which of course adds to its relevancy there, but is also this really cool self-contained Superman story. If you don't know, this all happens within this sort of like alternate reality and stuff like that. Superman is dying, and he's living out his last days. It's a very beautiful and meaningful comic, and if it doesn't bring a tear to your eye when you read it and you get to the end, are you even living? I think this is really great. I think it is some of Grant Morrison and Frank Whiteley's best work, personally. Frank Morrison. that's not his name. Grant Morrison. They have like such a massive body of work. You're gonna see there's actually another one like literally right after this that's also Grant Morrison, but maybe to me isn't as held as high regard as this one. But yeah, and they also have, of course, Arkham Asylum, which I'm very much looking forward to. That's getting a compact comic, I believe, next year, so gonna have to wait, all those Arkham Asylum fans, but don't worry, it's coming. Anyways, though, yeah, I believe this is perhaps one of the greatest Superman stories. I think it is very meaningful. I can see why they chose this. I'm glad we're getting more Superman comics. We're getting Superman Birthright very soon, written by the fabulous Mark Waid. But, I mean, come on, I'm gonna be real. I'm putting this above Watchmen. You gotta understand, I'm a Batman guy, so obviously I'm gonna put Court of Owls at the top. But realistically, I would say that Court of Owls is probably the third best written one on here. That I think that Watchmen and also Superman are definitely better in that regard. But this, once again, this is my personal list. These are ones that I just freaking I think are cool, man. All right, don't at me. All right, don't do it. As far as like how I would rank them, though, as far as like what I would recommend personally, I will do that in the end too. We're just gonna go crazy. This is an unscripted video, as you can tell, because I'm just meandering and stuff. But next we have Wonder Woman Earth 1. This is also another alternate universe. The cool thing about alternate universes is that it's very easy to get into. You don't have to read a bunch of history to get into it. I can see why they chose that as far as like some of these stories. Like there's a few of these, there's two of these that take place in alternate universes. You don't need to be caught up with any of the continuity of the DCU or anything like the DCU. I was gonna say that we're not ready for that yet. Don't need to be caught up with any of the DC universe. You can just hop in, hop out, you're good to go. This is the entire story of Wonder Woman Earth 1, once again written by Grant Morrison, taking her back to her more interesting sort of origins. If you've not read a Golden Age Wonder Woman comic, check it out, but don't show your parents. No, but anyways, see, I think this one is pretty good, but the weird thing about it is, why this one specifically? I already outlined once again. It takes place in an alternate universe. You've got the full story, all 3 volumes, put into this behemoth. It's crazy. You really got to see it, man. It's like the size of a dictionary, if a dictionary was incredibly small. But I gotta be honest, I'm gonna put this one in C. Yeah. I'm feeling a little spicy today, alright? I woke up, I was like, alright, I need to put Wonder Woman Earth 1 in C tier. Why am I doing that? Do I think it's still good? Yes, but I'm sort of, I don't know, I feel like there's like a lot of other like great Wonder Woman stories out there. I think this is good. I don't think it's like Grant Morrison's absolute best work personally, but I think it still is worthy, and I think it's cool that we have it in compact form, and we are getting some more Wonder Woman content, which is great, because I don't know if you guys noticed, there's kind of a Wonder Woman drought recently, but yeah, I don't know. It just sort of, I'm wondering, cause it's not as like culturally relevant as Far Sector. I can excuse Far Sector because it's really good and it's culturally relevant. But Wonder Woman Earth 1, though, I'm kind of like, there are also, I'm gonna say this, there are also better Earth 1 books too. So there's that as well. But yeah, I'm kind of confused, like why they didn't sort of consider some of other Wonder Woman's great stories. Like you've got Historia, which I don't actually know how long that is. I've never actually read it, but I'm sure that one could fit in a compact comic. I don't know. I've never made one of these things, man. Or, you know, you've got, of course, like some famous work like George Perez or something like that. You know, like his work and everything like that on the character would be also really cool too. But Earth One is a fair choice. But you know what? I'm gonna keep it lower though. You can't stop me from doing this. All right, this is my video, dang it. Anyways, let's get some more controversy out here. I think Batman Hush is pretty good, but it's overrated. Ooh, that's my hot take today. I think it's pretty cool, and I think it's a good starting point if you're looking to get into Batman, because it has a lot of meaty stuff in there. It's a story about Hush, but there's a lot of other stuff going on too. It's kind of like if you've ever read The Long Halloween. Obviously, it's circulating around this sort of mystery of the holiday killer, but there's also a lot of stuff too. There's freaking Joker in there. What's he doing there? I don't know, man. You gotta wait for the compact comic edition of Long Halloween, which is coming out probably in October. I don't know when it's coming out. You guys can look it up. I don't got time, man. But anyways, the point is, I think it's really interesting. I think Hush's motivation is kind of weak. I'll be honest with you. I think it gets better as it goes on. I think Paul Dini's follow-up to this is actually where Hush's strength comes in. I think before this, it's interesting, and I think it's a good mystery and everything, and I think it still, like I said, has a lot of like interesting things that help you sort of, you know, learn more about Batman and everything, and sort of like envelop you in this Batman world and everything. It also actually introduces an idea that they expand upon later, which I'm being very vague about, but may include a certain Robin. I don't know who that could be. Stephanie Brown, who knows? Freaking Superman, I don't know, he could have been Robin. I haven't read everything. But anyways, the point is, I'm putting this at B tier, man. I think Batman, the Court of Owls saga is better than Batman Hush, alright? You can sue me, call Saul if you want to, but I think it's a good introduction if you're looking for Batman stuff. I think Court of Owls is a better introduction. But I think still, if you want to get introduced to like a lot of villains and everything like that, you're really looking to get into Batman, you can't go wrong with Batman. I mean, $10, man, that's crazy. I'm not even sponsored by this, but I'd love to. If DC, feel free to, I'll leave my number in the description. You can call me anytime you want. It's just not past midnight, though. I gotta sleep, though. Anyways, though, speaking of sleeping, Joker. This one, why can you not, hold on, let me scroll down. There, now you can see that beautiful face right there. Yes, fantastic. Joker, I'm gonna be real with this one. This one is probably, if you look at the page count, if you're a page count kind of person, this one is the lowest page count, man. I think it's actually skinnier than the Kingdom Come one, which is only 4 issues long. But the Kingdom Come one is freaking cool, so you gotta get that one. I mean, that's not even on the list because it came out this year. Maybe we'll be doing one of these at the end of the year or next year or something for that. But anyways, I don't know, man. I think it's pretty interesting. It's sort of it tells the story from a different perspective, this henchman guy that's working with Joker, and the fear and everything, and the craziness of Joker, as perceived by somebody who works with him. That's a pretty cool concept, but this comic is really messed up, man. if you don't like messed up stuff, man, you gotta avoid this one. I think it's pretty cool, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it's actually the weakest compact comic we've had so far. I haven't read every compact comic. I can't speak to the ones that have come out this year. I haven't even read Kingdom Come yet, man. You gotta arrest me for that, too. But, I don't know. I think it's the weakest one. We've got a lot of Batman stuff, as you can see here. Literally, most of the compact comics are somewhat Batman-related. You've got, well, not all, but I think about half of them, right? So you've got, let me run you through this. You've got Court of Owls 1. You've got Batman Hush 2. You've got Joker 3. Harley Quinn 4. Catwoman 5. And there's 10... compact. That's a lot of Batman. You tell me you couldn't have fit in a Flash comic? You know, you could have. Like, Joker, who's that? Never heard of him. Flash, that's my main man right there. You tell me you couldn't put Flash in there, you know? But I'm not judging it based on the fact that there's no Flash comic. I'm judging it because I think it's the weakest one. There we go. You're welcome. None of this is going into D tier, by the way. These two last ones, spoiler alert, they're really good. We've got Gotham City Sirens. I was just talking about Paul Dini just a second ago. Guess what? He's in here too. This one is a bit different. This one is sort of a slice of continuity here. All these stories, they can sort of be read in somewhat of a self-contained manner. But this one right here, you might get a little confused. You start asking some questions you don't really need to ask, so you can just sort of go along with it's like, okay, yeah, of course, obviously. Right now, Batman is Dick Grayson. I knew that, obviously, duh. Right now, Hush is on the loose. I mean, of course he is, right? He's always on the loose, right? Right now, Riddler is actually a private investigator. I mean, when has he not been a private investigator, right? You're going to be asking some questions here, man. I didn't ask any questions. I was like, this is a cool story, and I like it a lot. It circulates around, the three Gotham Sirens as seen on the picture right there, obviously. You've got Catwoman, you've got Harley Quinn. It's called Harley Quinn, but I'm going to be honest, I feel like Catwoman is probably the main character, basically, kind of. But everybody likes Harley Quinn, so obviously they put Harley Quinn on there. But anyways, and then you have Poison Ivy, who is not the main character, but she is still very cool. And their story of how they sort of live together and kind of like, not really fight crime, but like get up to these all crazy antics and stuff like that. I think it's a lot of fun. I was really surprised with this. I'm going to be honest with you. If none of these like iconic comics existed on here, this would be my favorite. But the fact is, there's too many great comics on here, so I've got to not have it as my favorite, unfortunately. But I think it's great. Once again, the only problem is that it still fits in with this self-contained notion of compact comics, but I don't know, it's just not quite as self-contained. And yeah, it could leave some readers asking some questions and everything that they don't have. And you look it up on freaking Google, man. It's alright, you'll be fine. But yeah, I still think it works though. I think it has a lot of really fun stories, and I think like if you sort of take it from their perspective and everything, it can sort of like you can sort of self-contain it in there and everything. Got a lot of fun moments and stuff like that. Sort of this analysis, especially of Catwoman and Batman's relationship, which I think is fun. Just a lot of fun beats and everything. The art is really cool too. So I mean, I'm gonna give this an A. I think I'm gonna put this slightly above Far Sector, even though it's kind of hard because Paul Dini is arguably one of the best DC writers, to be honest, so he's really cool. Anyways, last and certainly not least, we have, of course, Catwoman, The Trials of the Catwoman. Just in case you forgot who it was, yes, Catwoman, The Trials of the Catwoman, of course. This one also took me by surprise too. This is written by the two comic greats. You've got, of course, Darwyn Cooke, who sadly is no longer with us, but his legacy lives on. He, of course, is getting another compact comic very soon with the New Frontier. Very much looking forward to that. It's going to be awesome. Now, Darwyn Cooke has this very, very cool style. He writes his own stuff, and he does the art, too. He did the art for Ed Brubaker for a bit, too, in this run, which is really cool to see. Very stylized, very cartoony, sort of noir-infused. I think it's really cool. Really just striking you, like, this is cool. You turn a page, like, oh man, he's Darwyn Cooke right here, you know what I mean? Anyways, and then of course also you have Ed Brubaker, the famous Ed Brubaker, great noir writer. If you've never read Criminal or Reckless, you're doing yourself a disservice. Pulp, obviously he made a great Daredevil run, and of course he is the creator of the original Captain America Winter Soldier arc, which is amazing and one of my favorite comics personally. So you can tell I'm a big Ed Brubaker fan, and I think this is fantastic. The combination of Ed Brubaker and Darwyn Cooke was phenomenal. Such great stories here. You're missing a little continuity here as well, because this sort of takes place after another book that Darwyn Cooke made called Batman Ego, which is also cool, and it would be cool if that got a compact comic as well, if they want to do that. I don't know if the free film, like, I don't know, maybe. But anyway, there's already a lot of Batman comics. What am I saying? But anyways, the point is here that this is a really cool story. Obviously circulating around the trial of the Catwoman, as a famous DC detective, Slam Bradley, is investigating Catwoman because she's mysteriously quote-unquote died, but she seems to have resurfaced, so it's raising a lot of questions. And this whole story is sort of like, it's a little bit of a redemption arc, honestly, for Catwoman. She pulls off this heist and everything like that, but afterwards, she's sort of on this path of renewal and everything. She's sort of figuring out this weird mystery of somebody is murdering all these women of the night, and she's like, this isn't right, man, I gotta fix this. So if you like Catwoman, man, it's really cool. If you don't like Catwoman, this will maybe make you like Catwoman. I was like, Catwoman is cool. I've never read a Catwoman comic, and now I'm like, I'm going to read all of them. So this is really cool. Not to beat around the bush any longer, I'm putting this on S tier. I cannot validate putting it above Watchmen, but there we go. I think it's really good. I think it's worth reading, and I think it's a little better than Gotham City Sirens, but I love Gotham City Sirens too. So this is my official ranking list. I'd love to see your official ranking list. If you read any of these, if you read none of them, that's fine too. Yeah, this was really fun to do. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm gonna make a better video where I talk in a more scripted manner about the difference between Marvel actually jumped on the boat too with their own Marvel Premiere Collection, which cost $5 more. That's the premiere price there, you know what I mean? Yeah, I think it's still really cool though. They don't have a lot of those out right now. They have Fantastic Four, they have Born Again. I wonder why they got that one. I don't know. They've got Winter Soldier, and I think that might be it. Oh, no, they have Black Panther out as well. Yes, very good, very good. But anyways, though, yeah, so what is my personal ranking? This is my personal ranking right here for, like, which ones I like the most, but what would I suggest to beginners? I'm going to put all the ones that I would suggest to beginners at the top, and all the ones that I would be maybe slightly cautious about at the bottom. I think as far as Batman, I would say these two are actually really good choices. I think all of these right here are perfect for beginners. I maybe not quite Catwoman, but I think hold on, not Watchmen either. Hold on, we're gonna figure that out later. Hold on. I think these three are perfect if you're wanting to get into DC. You know about Batman, you know about Superman. I mean, most people do anyways. So I think those are really good starting points. You know, I feel like Hush's advantage is sort of introducing you to this larger world of Batman, which I think is something that it does a little better over Court of Owls. But I think Court of Owls still does that. I'd actually put Superman above both of these personally. I think Superman is very well written. Once again, self-contained story. All these other two take place in continuity of DC. Doesn't really get too confusing, honestly. It's all very straightforward and pretty easy to follow. If you don't know about the death of Jason Todd already, man, I mean, what are you gonna do, man? It does mention that. So if you don't know about that, Jason Todd dies. There we go. You're welcome. You're caught up. Anyways, yeah, but I think All-Star Superman is it's a perfect self-contained story. Really, really flavorful. Just gives you like a full picture of who Superman is. Very meaningful and just a beautiful story that you will not forget. Anyways, so these ones right here, I'd say are pretty good as well. I think how I would order them personally is I'd probably put Far Sector first, then I'd put Catwoman. I've never read Batman Ego. I didn't really have any problems. There's some characters that returned from Batman Ego that it's fine. Just trust the process, all right? You'll love it, I promise. And I think, yeah, Gotham City Sirens is definitely the one that has the hardest continuity to follow, but that's okay. It's yeah, still quite good. And you may be asking yourself some questions, and maybe I'd put it down to B tier for new people. But I mean, I read it. I don't know that much about DC continuity. I mean, that's the one of Spider-Man, right? So I mean, hey, Watchmen. This is not my own personal ranking of what I think is best, but I would definitely recommend, if you're just getting into comics, don't start with Watchmen. Trust me, you're gonna thank me later. If you're well seasoned, if you've made the rounds in comics and stuff, there we go. The thing about Watchmen, reading it first, is sure you can get an understanding and an idea of what comics are and everything, but I think it's better to have a general sort of understanding of just the comic basics and everything like that before you really dive into something that's a little more deconstructive like Watchmen. But anyways, yeah. So and yeah, I think like this is a cool introduction to Wonder Woman because it is once again self-contained, but I don't know. I feel like there's probably some better introductions out there, honestly. I once again, I don't hate the book. I think it's still good, but I'm just a little confused. Like, oh, why this one specifically? I mean, there's got to be some better introductions, right? That could have worked well. And then yeah, Joker I mean, it's not my cup of tea, but maybe it's your cup of tea. I don't know. It's so cool, and I think it's cool like seeing Joker from this perspective, but I don't know. I'm good. Anyways, so there we go. That was for all you people like trying to figure out what compact comic to get. I would say, just in general, just follow your own personal taste and get what you want to get. Anyways, that was a long rambling video, but bye.